I was asked the question. And instead of them letting me answer the question, they answered the question for me. And the question went like this: why am I sitting here constantly showing video after video of games people play and the art that goes along with it? I said it's simple. I says because there's truth in design inside the reality of perfection in games people play, in odds, in alphanumeric, the designs even inside the star system. And this person says to me, hey buddy, and this wasn't a face-to-face, this was a hearsay through comments, etc., notes that are left on YouTube, etc. He said, hey buddy, that's not what you should do. You should be administered. I said, administered? He says, yeah, you should make administration to this whole thing. Make as much money as you can. Build a group strong enough and call yourself the political police. Build your own armies for the world and protect the people the most that need the most protection. And those are all the people, the masses. There's only a few percent of the people that are being controlled to police the entire world, but yet they're policing the masses. If you're a do-goody, do-right, an RCMP, and I'd say Dudley Do-Right is from the RCMP, then you, once you get the force, the political force, showing the reality and truth, then that will be the masses, and your mass will be bigger than the other mass. And the law that will rule is the law of the masses. And everything else that's policing our force and taxing us and taking away everything from the people and making sure that by the time you reach 30 years old, that's really when your life will begin. When most people will just be paying off their first 5 years of mortgage on their house, or they have just gotten married and started out, and they really don't have a life because they're all at work until 40. That by the time they turn around and have a little nest at all, they're 65 years old, spend 15 years of real life, and fighting the rest of the way. And I says, well, how will the people learn? He says, they'll learn, don't you worry. But the system is robbing us of 10 to 50% of all our money, and we're struggling out there. And I says, well, but it's not all about money. It's about the law and honor of the truth. That when we go to the fridge and bring a product out, and it says modified tomatoes, okay, Heinz ketchup, modified tomatoes, okay, I don't even know if there's a tomato inside the ketchup, or the vinegar that has 1,000 elements to create the science of the vinegar, when we should be using maybe just apple cider vinegar. But everything that is now biological is now twice the cost, when it shouldn't be twice the cost at all, because we're fighting the mosquito that they created that went into our fields that's destroying our crops. I says, okay. I said, okay, in my head. And I answered wherever it was and whenever it was, and I'm coming back right here to say it, that until we all get onto the same boat, until we help our neighbor with a little bit of food, but at the same time, we destroy ourselves. We go out and we overspend on whatever we spend. And I don't care if you bought an extra car or you drank 2 bottles of vodka. I don't care if you smoked 20 packs of cigarettes. But we are supporting that small group that's getting all that money so they can police the nations. They're policing the nations with all the money. Do you not hear it on the news? They say that this group is getting their money from here, and that's how they're doing it. So they're all saying the groups are getting money to support themselves. So if they didn't have this money, what would happen to these groups? Do we need the money? What is the reality of the money? You see, I don't have the knowledge to be able to run a government, but I know what needs to be done. And it's more better than I can delegate from understanding of what needs to be done to get things done and make a final decision because of the better understanding of what the masses need. And one of the things bogging down the people are all these laws and all the disinformation about marijuana, LSD, and all these drugs, and all the drugs being grown all over the world and moved all over the world, and who's getting all this money and what they're doing with all this money, when all it is if the drugs weren't illegal anymore and we were just taught about all these drugs and the prices dropped, people might just stop using it. And you can't save all the people of the world anyways. And all the people that are dying from these drugs, and just as many that are dying from Coca-Cola and obesity and cigarettes and alcohol, car accidents and speeding, is far, far, far beyond, okay, what LSD or some drugs might kill in the moment right now. But we put such a high classification on, we become blinded to the truth of saving the one life. When we run into war to save one person, yet we put 100 people at risk, and where the groups that were created in this war are because of what we did. They were only policing themselves and keeping their own security, and we had to create more security to get the final gem of our agenda. Jen, Jemda, M, J. You know what I'm saying? The J and the G, they exchange with each other. The N and the M are the one and one of the reality. One is a 13, one is a 14, one is an ace, one is a king. 13 and 14 now become big slick. So my end result is to sell clothes, make a little bit of money, get a little bit of organization. These are the words that I was somehow vibrationally told, but not told, and understanding that what really had to be done in order for me to make it to the next level is to sell and get these clothes on the market, to understand the art that I do, and the reason and reality that is behind everything that I'm doing is because we the people, we the masses, you is you and me is me, we are the gods of the divide. We are all kings in our own household, and we become what? Private and general on the street when we are, I can't even mention what it is, and it's going to have to grind out, and it's going to be the knights of the castle that I'm not even making any sense anymore. I don't even know what to say. But until we build this massive group and change the monetary system and change the law system for a better understanding that we can't be against everything. I mean, I personally think that airbags might save somebody, but to obligate somebody to or take away their car because they have to put a new airbag in that costs $1,000, do they understand that airbag saves lives? How many airbags have saved lives, actually? And maybe we should just slow down. And maybe we shouldn't be saving all these lives. But then anyways, you know what? The airbag is good. It's still in the car. And we wouldn't have to worry about these thoughts if they weren't taking away 50% of our money. Mismanaging every cent and blocking every single wall that we have to overspend and spend on security. But then where would all these people be if they weren't working in the government, if they weren't working in security, if they weren't working here or there? If we took away 90% of the reality of what we need in paperwork, we wouldn't have all these jobs. It's part of the system. It works, except it's been tweaked that we all end up with nothing at the end. And we have all these youngsters that are against society because of the system we live. So we're policing our own selves because what we're causing to the children of the world. And I don't care which child it is. Some of them, yes, really do need help. But a lot of them need help because of us, the parents, the grandparents, what we have caused. But yet it's not just the few of us. It's because of the masses. Because at the end result is, if we all stop spending money and feed ourselves for 5 years, yeah, it's a long time. But you're paying a 7-year car loan right now. 25 years on your house. But if we just stop buying for nothing, we'd all start losing our jobs. We'd all start losing our houses. We'd all end up on the street. That means the system is not working. If we end up all on the street because we have to go, and people have to buy, or people are losing their jobs, and all of a sudden we're growing gardens in the backyard. We don't know what to do but work. We don't want to go to work. We have nothing to do, so we grow a garden. But then we can't pay for the house, and the taxes go up. So they're always squeezing us in another way, right? But if we work together, no one can collect. No one can kick you out. I won't kick you out. If I have a job and I'm a collector, I don't want to collect from you because I know why you're doing it. I know why you don't have the money. So we fight each other. We take away stuff and we police ourselves and we give it back to the banks. And then we're all in jail. All of us. We're all jailed to the world because we just can't organize in a fixed system. So let's say we all don't shop and thousands of retail places, and let's say we just shop in places where the money stays. Shop where you know the money's going to stay in your country and stop all this moving the money around the world. You see, there's a lot of work to be done. We need a miracle to come down and help us. We really need a miracle or somebody powerful. And right now, the only powerful miracle I can see right now, okay, is 2 of them. 2 big powerful miracles and a lot of small ones. Iceland, the Netherlands, Denmark. Putin and Donald Trump. What's going to happen? Is this done purposely? Is there an alter agenda to Donald Trump in clashing, or is there no help at all and it ain't him and it may be just a French fry and a poutine? Whichever way it's going to come down, the end result is I must survive my plan. I want to sell clothes. I want to get the place I'm in and get it into Hollywood. Come here and take pictures, write down and read whatever I've done, because whatever I've done for the earth. Whatever song that's ever been played. I'm not the only one that's out there. There's millions of people doing the same thing yet, and we listen and we buy their records and we listen yet. All that money ain't working towards helping the political masses to restructure so that the monetary system and the taxes are not directed towards $17 trillion in war, and not directed that one family should have $100 billion to survive. Nobody should have $100 billion. But when you do reach a certain mark in life, when you do, you should have free parking for life. Whatever you want, because somebody in this world could never spend $100 billion for the rest of his life. I would serve them steak dinners every single night. I would give them shrimp and lobster and the best foods. And still, you cannot spend $100 billion. But then you think, what if we're buying all these crazy $100,000 cars, $200,000 and $300,000 cars? Well, these people would be out of work. So these people that have the mighty rich, how many $300,000 cars do they need? 10 in their lifetime? 20? 30? 40? $200,000 cars? That's only $8 million. So let them have sea-doos and sea-boats, an extra house, let them go wherever they want. So what are they going to spend in their lifetime? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, $100 million? But yet, people have billions of dollars. Billions of dollars and a lot of people suffering and bullets going on. Bullets all over the world. To end this story, Dirty Deeds, 1985. The night owl howling down the highway.